Yo, 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 what's up, wrestling fans? Your host, the J-Man here, and I want to talk about Wrestlemania 26 coming up. Specifically, I want to get to the Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels, my thoughts on this huge, incredible match. I think it's going to be fantastic. Even though it is a repeat from last year, we did see Shawn Michaels wrestle the Undertaker at WrestleMania 25, and we all know the result of that was Shawn Michaels losing. Undertaker retains his undefeated streak. But this year, I think it's going to be just a little bit different. Well, I'll get to that in just a second. I want to tell you more about the history of myself as a professional wrestling fan. What got me into wrestling, being a fan, and WWE, WWF. This goes way, way back when I was like 4 years old. I started watching wrestling because I saw Hulk Hogan on TV, and he was such a phenomenal, entertainer. His presence was huge, and he just had this vibe about him, and it was so attracting. You just had to watch him. I was glued to it. I got hooked. And then, I grew up watching these iconic wrestlers like Roddy Piper, Andre the Giant, the Iron Sheik, Jake the Snake, Macho Man Randy Savage, all those guys. It's just fantastic memories watching that, and WWF became my life, my heart and soul, especially when I got back into wrestling, watching wrestling full-time in high school. I just absorbed it like a sponge, and it was my bread and butter every day, watching Monday Nitro and, of course, WWF Raw, and, I picked up on it in '96 again, because Shawn Michaels winning the title at WrestleMania 12 was an unbelievable moment. And then that whole run that Shawn Michaels had in '96, it was huge. It was fantastic. One of the best championship runs of all time. And from that day forward, I was just sold out for Shawn Michaels, And through the years, he kept competing some big matches, some really good matches. I remember the one with Sid Vicious where he beat him in the return bout at Royal Rumble. I was there for that. I mean, I wasn't there in person, but I was definitely watching it on pay-per-view. The match against British Bulldog, Mankind, they were all great, and I loved every one of them. And then, of course, Shawn Michaels had to forfeit the belt, and then he would eventually get it back when he came back in '97. He became the bad guy in the whole Degeneration X formation, and it was all really cool. And I had a great time during those years. And then the Attitude Era, I continued watching wrestling. I liked it. I was a fan of Austin in the beginning. I was a fan of The Rock in the beginning, but then I got turned away from them because it got a little too. The Attitude Era became a little too far-fetched from what it used to be during the golden age of WWF. It just got a little too violent and racy at times. Not that I don't like the violence and the action. It's great, but it was too different from what I was used to. Anyway, long story short, Shawn Michaels came back, when nobody thought he would. Came back around 2002, had that match with Triple H, and just proved everybody that he could make a return. Even at his age, he could still go and get it done. And he got that championship win at the Elimination Chamber, first one ever. And I was still impressed with Shawn Michaels. I continued watching wrestling because of Shawn Michaels, and I'm a huge Shawn Michaels fan. It's the bottom line. I think a lot of guys say they're the best, or you hear the term the best wrestler of all time, the best there ever is, the best there ever was. Shawn Michaels is the guy. He is number one in my book. Okay, no one can really compare. Forget about Hogan, forget about Flair, forget about Sting, Austin, The Rock, Bret Hart. None of those guys, even The Undertaker, can claim the number one spot like Shawn Michaels can, as far as I'm concerned, because of his performances. So, it's always been, in WWF, the two biggest guys, I shouldn't say the biggest, shouldn't say the most popular, but the two best guys in terms of wins, championships, success have been The Undertaker and Shawn Michaels. And I've always said, you know, if they ever were going to have a match to decide who is the greatest of all time in the WWE, it would have to be between Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker, no doubt about it. And even though I believe The Undertaker would win probably, say, 6 times out of 10, Shawn Michaels is, you know, right there, right close to him. They're just so close in performance-wise. Even though The Undertaker's had a few bum matches, he's still the phenom. And the undefeated streak at Wrestlemania, let me tell you something about that. That streak will never die. The WWE will hold on to that streak and build it as a legacy. All right, they'll be able to continue to push that angle for as long as The Undertaker wrestles, and maybe even pass on the torch of the gimmick of The Undertaker to somebody else. You know, but that undefeated streak is bigger than Shawn Michaels' career right now. All right, the continuation of that streak. Now, because it's Shawn Michaels' career against The Undertaker's undefeated streak, I believe that The Undertaker will win, because Shawn Michaels wants to retire, number one. Number two, that undefeated streak is just not going to die. And if it weren't for that, if it weren't for Shawn Michaels wanting to retire, I would consider Shawn Michaels winning this, especially because it's a rematch. But it truly, truly doesn't look that way. Unfortunately, Shawn Michaels is going to lose this match. You know, I actually have no qualms with him losing to The Undertaker. Of all people to lose to, The Undertaker is the guy. And if Shawn Michaels has got to go, at least he's going to go out with a bang. He's going to have a huge performance. It's going to be great. Probably a 5-star match. Shawn Michaels always gives 110%. And just like last year, it'll be a one for the record books. I hate to see Shawn Michaels go. I really do hate to see him retire, but it's about that time. He can't keep going forever. I don't want to see him wrestle at 60 years old. I don't think anybody does. You know, I mean, if he starts to slow down, then the sooner the better to hang up the boots. He's given us so many memories throughout the years, so many fantastic performances. And I just salute him and say thank you, Shawn, for all those tremendous matches and all the memories. You will never be forgotten. And having said that, I want to say enjoy WrestleMania. I think it'll be a pretty good show. Batista versus John Cena, it'll be all right. Be pretty good. Other than that, thanks for watching. Don't forget to comment, and I'll see you next time.